सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. We have completed 27th sloka in chapter 18th of Bhagavad Gita, Moksha Sannyasa Yogam. So, Paramatma was discussing about the karta, three types of karta. In the previous class, we discussed about Sattvika karta and Rajasika karta. And today, we will discuss about the Tamasa karta, and we will conclude this topic and he will take up the buddhi, three types of buddhi. So, Sloka number 28. Ayukta prakruta stabdaha seto naishkrutiko lasaha vishadi dirghasutri cha karta tamasa vutyate. Ayuktaha, one who has no control over sense organs. Prakrutaha, who is unrefined, who is not polished person, who is not cultured. Stabdaha, who is absolutely impolite, rude. Setaha, who has got two motives in all his activities. He will tell something and act something else. He will have a hidden agenda for everything. Naishkrutikaha, one who is harmful, one who is hindrance to others' pursuits and goals. Vishadi, who is always gloomy and who is in depression. Alasaha, a lazy person. Cha, Dirghasutri, one who whiles away the time, one who takes everything light and postpones everything. Tamasa karta uchyate. So such person is called tamasa karta. Ayuktaha, prakrutaha, stabdaha, setaha, naishkrutikaha, alasaha, vishadi, dirghasutri cha karta tamasaha uchyate. So one who is not having any control over the sense organs, one who is not refined, one who is absolutely impolite and rude, one who has got two motives in all his activities, and one who has got hidden agenda in all his activities which is not known to people, one who is harmful, who is hindrance to others' goals, and one who is always gloomy, and one who is absolutely lazy, and one who whiles away the time is called tamasa karta. So, this is the definition of a tamasa karta. Ayuktaha. Yuktaha means one who has got arjavam, that is what he talks, what he does, and what he thinks. All three are in one line. But this person, Ayuktaha, he has no control over his sense organs. So he thinks something else, talks something else, and does something else. So there is absolutely no coherence. A person, according to the Shastra, will have 5 koshas: Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha. All these 5 koshas must be in alignment. If they are in alignment, then things will go smooth. So, if you are chanting Bhagavan Namam, then your eyes must see God. Then your tongue must utter God's name. and your mind should be in tune with God, then you see how beautiful the effect will be. It is like this, if you take a convex lens and try to focus the sunbeam, it can burn a piece of paper. So in the same way, if all the Indriya Shaktis are concentrated, then it will have a tremendous effect. Just to try and see. Whatever I talk, whatever I do, there is always a linearity. So that kind of arjavam is a very wonderful discipline. So while talking, you should be very polite. This is called Vachika Tapas. In 17th chapter, we have already discussed in 15th sloka. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. So you have to be very careful in your conversation. You should not hurt anybody. So whoever is following this kind of discipline is called yuktaha. If he is not following this discipline, he is called ayuktaha. So there is no coherence in his talk, in his thinking, and in his action. So just out of instinct, he does everything. There is no arjavam in him. So such person is called ayuktaha. The tamasic person is ayuktaha. Alasaha. Alasaha, Paramatma mentioned alasaha means laziness. So because of laziness, he is not having any enthusiasm to do anything. So if you want to do something, he will, just sit lazily. He will not take up anything. So in life, you should have a plan, and you should set goals in your life, and the life should go in tune with your goals, with your lakshyas. For a tamasic person, there is no goal. So he doesn't know how to plan also. So even if somebody does, help him in planning, he will not meticulously follow it. So he will not entertain any kind of planning. So everything goes topsy-turvy. So this is the affair. So alasyam hi manushyanam sarirasto mahan ripuhu. In every human being, this laziness is a natural consequence. This is the laziness to get up, and that's how we cannot conquer his sense organs. So he will not get up even if it is 8 in the morning. According to Shastra, before sun rises, one must get up and do Surya Namaskara and do pranayama and whatnot. But this man, being lazy, he will not take up any such activity. So he is, totally instinctive. So this is the tamoguna pradhana person who is absolutely lazy. So he is with alasatvam. Prakrutaha means there is no refinement in his talk, in his thinking, in his way of behavior. There is absolutely no politeness. You should remember one thing, such person, he comes to people without asking whether they are free or not, and he spoils their time. The culture is not there in his dictionary. So it is like an animal Animal, if animal wants to shout, it shouts. It doesn't care whoever is present there. So this is the type of behavior a person having prakruta samskara. So one should refine from prakruta purusha to samskruta purusha. So that is the most important thing. So he should come to anushtanam. He should know how to respect Shastra. And he cannot entertain because he's a totally very rough and tough person. He doesn't care. He doesn't follow the table manners, and he doesn't take the napkins. And so whatever comes to the hand, he takes and gobbles them. So this is like this. So we happen to see such persons in our life, isn't it? So such persons are called prakruta purushaha. So it is very difficult to manage them, very difficult to handle them. Wherever you go, people are there. But in foreign countries, because they want to flourish in the business, they have to follow some discipline, some kind of etiquette and manners. Unless you have that, you will not flourish in business. So slowly, when they want to flourish economically, they try to learn. But our culture is so, advanced. It tells you how to behave, even though you are not in business. So it tells you how to talk to elderly people, how you should behave with elderly people, and all the manners it will teach you. The next thing is stabdaha. Stabdaha means one who is not having any kind of politeness, or something similar to unrefined person, but Paramatma wants to give slight distinction between prakruta purusha and stabdaha. Stabdaha means he is impolite and he is rude and very tough to handle. He doesn't know how to stand, how to talk with the elderly people. He doesn't respect people, and he doesn't respect Shastra, he doesn't respect Guru. He is totally, very rude and very primitive behavior, brutal type of behavior. The Prakruta Purusha is almost similar to Stabdaha, but slight difference. So whenever he wants to do something, he does. So he keeps on eating throughout the day, and he doesn't know what is hunger. So this is the type of behavior he entertains. So this is about the Stabdaha. Then comes Sataha. Sataha means one whose behavior is very cunning. One who has double standards. He talks something and does something. He has the hidden agenda in everything. So it is very dangerous to encounter him, very dangerous to be with him. So if you happen to, come across such people, try to avoid them. Because whatever he talks is not his behavior. So he talks something and, plans something else. He is always cunning. So he is a kind of, double-edged person, a double standard person. He is subject to pressure because of his behavior. Then Naishkrutaha. Naishkrutaha means he doesn't have any goal at all. So he wants to while away the time. So he behaves in, creating rumors. And for him, the time is, plenty. He doesn't mind wasting the time. Not only he wastes his time, he spoils others' valid time also. So if he rings up, he will never put the phone down. He keeps on blabbering. So this is the type of behavior, a naishkrutikaha, a person who is tamasic person. Vishadi means one who is into depression, who is always into a sorrow mode. He is always greedy of money. He wants to, mop up money. He will not take up anything. He is always a pessimistic person. So this is the behavior. He is always in troubles and tribulations, and he gives you and shares his sorrow all the time. 24/7 he shares sorrow with you. Dirghasutri means a tamasic person who cannot be changed at any cost. He is a person who cannot take up meditation. If you ask him to meditate, he will go into deep slumber. He is never having sattva guna. So for a Dirghasutri, for a person who is always tamasic, who always postpones things, who whiles away the time. So for such person, don't tell him to take up sattvika gunas. Ask him to take up rajoguna pradhana activity. Directly he cannot come to sattva guna. So Shastra tells, we have to convert him to a rajasic person. Then slowly he should enjoy the rajogunam. And then you have to change him to sattvaguna pradhana person. If you ask him to do something initially, he will say, today is not a good day. It's a Rahu Kalam, Yamagandam is there, it is Tuesday. Like that he will tell umpteen, lame excuses. So such person who postpones everything, who will not do anything, is a Dirghasutri. So Karta Tamasa Uchyate, such a person is called tamasic person. He is absolutely lazy, who postpones things. Jnanam Jneyam Parijnata Trivida Karma Chodana. So Jnanam, Karma, Karta, these are the three things Paramatma explained vividly. So he has completed the topic of Jnanam and Karma, Karta, all the three topics he has finished. Now, if you look back, the Tamasika Karta is the one who is unrefined, who is not having any control on his sense organs, who is double standard, who is having double standards, who is always a hindrance for others' goals, who is a lazy person, who postpones things eternally. Whereas a Rajasic Karta is very fond of success and is having greediness, and he is more harmful to the people. He hurts people in order to achieve success. Then he suspects people. He gets both harsham and sokam because of the behavior. So such person is called Rajasa Karta. Satvika Karta is having asangatvam. He doesn't have any egoism and he's always enthusiastic, and he takes both success and failure equally. So this is the difference. Now we'll take up the 29th sloka. Buddhir bedam dhruteschaiva gunatastrividam srunu prochyamanamasheshena prudatvena dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, hey Arjuna, srunu, may you listen to. Trividam Vedam, threefold division of Buddhehe, intellect, cha, eva dhrutehe, and will. Gunataha, according to the gunas. Prochyamanam, taught by me. Aseshena, completely. Proktamanam, and Prudatvena. Prudatvena means distinctly. He Dhananjaya, Buddhehe, Dhrutehe cha, eva gunataha trividam. Vedam, Aseshena, Prudatvena, Protyamanam srunu. O Arjuna, listen to the threefold division of intellect and will, according to the gunas taught by me completely and distinctly. So, in this sloka, Paramatma is introducing two more topics. So far now, 4 topics we have seen: 3 types of sannyasa, 3 types of jnana, 3 types of karma, 3 types of karta. Now Paramatma is introducing 2 more topics, buddhi and dhruti. Buddhehe Vedam. That means the threefold buddhi. According to what? According to gunataha trividam. As per guna, we can divide them into 3 varieties. Satvika buddhi, rajasika buddhi and tamasika buddhi. Dhruteschaiva. I am also going to tell you about dhruti. Dhruti means perseverance, stubbornness, willpower. So, this is also very important in the life. So, if you want to achieve something, you have to have the perseverance, that commitment, constant pursuing nature. So, whatever you take up, you will bound to get obstacles. Without obstacles, there is no kind of journey. So you should have that stubborn attitude and try to face the obstacles, overcome the obstacles, and then win the game of life. Even when you learn cycling, at the time of cycling, even if you see a bullock cart, you are so scared. But your constant perseverance made you learn that bicycling. So like that, you should not be scared of obstacles. Dhruteschaiva gunataha trividam srunu. In the same way, dhruti is also threefold. May you understand that. May you learn threefold dhruti from me. Prochyamanam aseshena. So these 6 things I will tell you. These 6 things I will explain you elaborately without any doubt. Aseshena means completely. Prudatvena Dhananjaya. So I will tell you separately. I will tell you first about Buddhi, 3 types, and then Vritti. So may you lend your ears. This is the sloka. Pravrittincha nivrittincha karya karya bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya veti buddhisa pardha satviki. Pardha, O Arjuna, satviki buddhihi. Satviki buddhihi means the sattvic intellect. Sa is that ya veti, which knows. Pravrittim means action. Cha nivrittim, renunciation, which can distinguish action and renunciation, which will clearly know what is action and what is renunciation. Karya karye, the prescribed and prohibited action. One vihitam and nishiddham. So, a sattvic person knows clearly what is a vihita karma, what is a nishiddha karma. Bhaya abhaye, what is fearful, what is fearless. Bandham cha moksham, as well as bondage and liberation. So he has a clarity in all these things. He Partha, ya buddhihi pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya akarye bhaya abhaye cha moksham bandham cha veti. Sa satviki mata. O Arjuna, sattvic intellect is one who knows action and renunciation. Sattvic intellect is one which knows action and renunciation, the prescribed and prohibited, fear and fearlessness, as well as bondage and liberation. So, we will try to see 3 different types of buddhis. So from hereafter, we will discuss about Sattvika Buddhi, Rajasika Buddhi and Tamasika Buddhi. So from here on, we discuss about the Sattvika Buddhi, Rajasika Buddhi and Tamasika Buddhi. So in this particular sloka, Paramatma is defining Sattvika Buddhi. So Shastra gives a topmost priority for intellect. Because if somebody asks what is your ultimate goal, then we will just blink. We don't know the temporary goals. How can we talk about the ultimate goal? So this is the general answer when you ask people. So if you take your car out from the garage, so you know where you're going. So when you are taking up this journey, the life journey, you should know the life's ambition, the life's goals. Then if you are driving, you should know you have to turn right or left and you have to go forward. And if you're going forward, how long you have to go. All these things must be there in the buddhi, in the intellect. Otherwise, your journey becomes endless. You will not reach the destination. So, you should know the destination. You should know the laksham. You should know the goal. So, only and only if you know the laksham, then you can set your path in order to achieve your goal. Dharma prescribes 4 different pursuits: dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So there are different ashramas also. In brahmacharya ashrama, all these things are mentioned. So once he comes out from the brahmacharya ashramam, so he knows how to set his goal. In Kathopanishad, we have studied about Ratha Kalpana. So in that Ratha Kalpana, the buddhi or intellect is compared with a charioteer. A charioteer knows his destination. So his mind also should be in line with his mind. Even if the car driver knows the goal, supposing he is drunk, fully drunk, so he cannot reach the destination. In olden days, people used to talk about IQ, the level of intelligence a person has. Along with IQ, people are looking for EQ also, emotional quotient. They look for his tranquil mind and his poise, his composure. All these things are very important. So, the important factor is the progressive thinking. Ya veti. So, whoever talks of the important aspects, ya veti means all the aspects are very clear. He understood everything. Sa buddhi sattviki. There is clarity in everything for him. Such an intellect is called sattvika buddhi, sattvic intellect. Pravrittincha. Pravrittincha means the karma path. The one who is more into the actions. So, through karma, what are all the goals he achieves? So, he must know. So, if he knows by doing karma what is that he is going to get, then he will adopt karma. So, unless he is sure of his goals, he cannot take up karma. So, this is the thing. Then nivrittincha. Nivrittincha means jnana margam. First one is karma kanda, yajnam, yagam and all those things. The second one is jnana margam, Vedanta margam. So, jnana marga gives an idea about 6 different things. It talks about jiva. It talks about jagat. It talks about Ishvara. It talks about samsara. It talks about moksham. It talks about sadhana. So, you should know what a Jnana Marga talks about. So, you should know the power of Jnana. Then only you can come to the Nivrutti Marga. Otherwise, you stay with the Pravrutti Marga. Pravrutti Margam is Karma Kanda, doing yajnam, yagam and all social services, all those things, all actions, action-oriented activity is called Pravrutti Margam. It is more outward journey. Jnana Margam is Nivrutti Margam, more inward journey. There is no outwardness. Karya karye. So when you are talking about the choice of the path, karma margam or jnana margam, if you take up karma marga, that means action path, pravrutti margam, then there are again 2 things. One type of karma will take you to spiritual progress. So, other type will not give you the spiritual progress, but it will give you the mundane benefits. The one which gives you the spiritual progress is called Karma Yogam. It gives you Chitta Siddhi and Chitta Ekagrata, the purity of mind and the expansion of mind. And such persons, they respect the sannyasis, they respect elders, they want to learn Gita and all that. Kruti mahadadau patana karanam, phalam asasvatam gati nirodhakam. So the karma is much criticized in the Vedanta because the karma will give you temporary result. If you are ruled by the temporary result, the mundane benefits, you will never come to the Nivritti Marga, the Jnana Marga. So you are happy with the mundane success. So you are happy with the status, you are happy with the name, fame and all that. So you will never enjoy the Jnana Margam. So you know the limitations. So karya karye. So karyam and akaryam. So the progress, spiritual progress, which will help you in learning the scriptures. Akarye. Akarye means the obstacles which will happen because of the karma kanda. Due to karma kanda, you get the mundane benefits and you are stuck to that. Bhaya bhaye. Bhayam means one which is insecure. Abhayam means one which is secure. A Sattva-guna person knows what is secure and what is insecure. He goes to Jnana Marga, which is more secure. Whereas the Karma Kanda will not give you security. It will, always create a kind of inadequacy in you. However big you are, however the top position you occupy, there is always an inadequacy. You want more and more and more. So that kind of dissatisfaction will be there. You are never happy. Insecurity will continue. Whereas security is there only in the Nivritti Marga. Yavad vitto parjana saktaha tavan nija parivaro raktaha paschat jivati jarjara dehe vartan kopina pruchati gehe. So all your earnings, these people around you, nobody is permanent. Nothing can give you security. So outward achievements, outward status, outward success will not give security. Only God will give you security. This clarity only the Sattvic Buddhi will know. So Bhaya Abhaya Jnanam, this is what we call Sattvika Buddhi. Then Bandham Mokshancha. Then Bandham Mokshancha means, Bandham means bondage. Moksha means liberation. So Bhayam, Abhayam, similar to Bhayam and Abhayam. So what is Bandha Hetu? What creates liberation? So as a person who is having Sattvika Buddhi can clearly see the difference between bondage and liberation. So all these external things will not give you peace, happiness and security. We simply run after these external things. We are so extrovert and we think peace, happiness and security is in these external things. It keeps you running throughout your life. You will not get even an iota of peace, happiness and security in external things. By the time you realize you are too old, a person, an intelligent person, a person having Sattvika Buddhi realizes this. He knows that the peace, happiness, and security is in me, in my real nature. I am the peace, happiness, and security. So this he knows by adopting Nivritti Marga, by approaching a Srotriya Brahmanishta Guru and understanding the Shastra by Sravanam Mananam and Nididhyasnam. Ya veti buddhihi sa partha satvikihi. So whoever understands, whoever is having clarity on these aspects, so such person is having sattvika buddhi. Such buddhi is called sattvika buddhi. If you want to tell in one single word, sattvagunam, a person having sattvaguna, he is having clarity in everything. So he is called a buddhijeevi. Animals are not intelligent one. A man is an intelligent species, and such an intelligent species, so-called man, should have sattva gunam so that he can get the advantage. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi yekeha gurunandana bahusaka hyanantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. An intelligent person knows what he wants. He can know the difference between dharma and adharma, karyam and akaryam, bhayam and abhayam, moksham and bandham. He can clearly distinguish these things. So, such person, we can call him Sattvika person, and his intelligence is called Sattvika Buddhi. So, we will proceed to the 31st sloka. Eya dharmamadharmancha karyamcha karyamevacha ayadhavat prajanati buddhisa partha rajasi. O Partha, O Arjuna, Rajasi Buddhi. So, Rajasic knowledge, Sayaya, by which Ayadhavat Prajanati, one wrongly understands, one does not have clarity on this. Dharmancha, adharmancha. So, one cannot know what is dharma and what is adharma, what is right and what is wrong. He cannot distinguish. Cha eva karyam and akaryam. He cannot identify what is prescribed and what is prohibited. He Partha, yayacha buddhya jivaha dharmam adharmancha karyam akaryam cha ayadhavat eva prajanati sa buddhihi rajasi mata. O Arjuna, rajasic intellect is that by which one wrongly understands dharma and adharma, as well as the prescribed and prohibited. So, in this particular sloka, Paramatma is defining Rajasika Buddhi, Rajasic intellect. So, a person who is having Rajasika Buddhi is totally ambiguous. He is having totally a vague mind. If you do not know what is spirituality, it is called ajnana. Ajnana may be okay, but spirituality he doesn't know fully. He is having half-baked knowledge in everything. So whatever comes to him, he simply reads that book. He is an voracious reader. Influence of that reading will have a bearing on his mind. So he reads a book on meditation. He likes that. Then For 5 days he sits in meditation. Then he's totally distracted and he takes up something else. He goes to social work and he thinks that doing social service is much better. And after some time he goes to a Parayana group and a bhajan group. Then they say in Kali Yuga only this singing, only this chanting will give you moksham. Kale kalmasha chittanam papa dravyopajeevanam vidikriya vihinanam gatir govinda kirtanam. If you cannot understand Vedanta, you cannot talk to him about Gaudapada Karikas. It's beyond his imagination. Hare namaiva 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 mama jeevanam kalau nasteva 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 gatiranyada. So he thinks this is good. This is my cup of tea. So he starts chanting. He buys a japamala and then starts chanting. So somebody tells you there is a place where there is a wonderful Gita discourse is going on. So he goes there and he listens to it for some time and then leaves it. So he doesn't stick to anything. Yaya dharmam adharmancha. So he doesn't know what is dharma, what is adharma. He cannot find the subtle difference. Dharma means what is ordained on you. Adharma means what is prohibited on you. So, in order to achieve liberation, what are all the things you have to do? He doesn't know. So, this is the way. He is a jack of all, master of none. So, this is the affair. If he comes to Shastra without a proper guru, then in one place they praise karma, in another place they undermine karma. In Bhagavad Gita itself you can see, Swadharme nidhanam sreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha is one sentence. Sarvadharman parityajya in the same Bhagavad Gita. So he is totally in confusion. Because he doesn't follow a guru. There is no proper guru for him. He simply picks up a book and reads for himself. Karyancha akaryam eva. So he doesn't know whether to do mundane things or to come to Vedanta. Dharmam adharvam. Whatever is vihitam, whatever is nishiddham. So all these things he is not sure. So he is having half-baked knowledge in everything. So this is the kind of mental state he has. Ayadhavat prajanati. So with this kind of knowledge, he takes up and he loiters here and there. He keeps his finger in everything. So in Vedanta, if somebody wants to talk to him about Rajasarpa Bhranti, it is very tough for him to understand. In Vedanta, they say there is a rope and they talk about this Adhyasa, Bhashyam and all that. So this rope, you can see if there is only a partial light. If there is a full light, this Rajasarpa Bhranti cannot be created. Because you can clearly see the rope. If there is a total darkness also, you cannot see the rope. Even if the cobra is there, you cannot see. So, if and only if there is a partial light, then only this illusion will take place. In the similar way, he is not fully knowledgeable. At the same time, he is not totally ignorant. So this is the state of affairs he is holding. So with this half-baked knowledge, he wants to achieve the ultimate. This is the state of affairs. This is the poor state of affairs he is having. And with this kind of knowledge, he proceeds to the world. We will see further in the next class. Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om